Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, I'm proud to present an up-close and personal, in-depth look with the 2016 Land Rover LR4 HSE Luxury. As always, this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the LR4. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, go over the performance data, take it on a thorough road test, and show you many of the unique aspects of both the interior as well as exterior. The LR4 comes standard with a remote access smart key system, so to lock, all you have to do is just keep the key fob in your pocket and just tap the little black button on all four door handles and the mirrors automatically fold in. To unlock it, there's a touch sensor behind the handle. You just grab it and it automatically unlocks the vehicle. Our tester is finished in Fuji white and features the optional black design package. Inside is a black premium leather interior. The LR4's starting MSRP is $50,400, but with the Black Package, HSE Luxury Package, Heavy Duty Package, and a few other options we'll cover later in the video, this example stickers for $68,270, including destination. To start, make sure you have the key fob within the interior, put your foot on the brake, then hit the dash mounted button to go. The Land Rover LR4 features speed-sensitive rack and pinion steering with hydraulic power assistance. Like the Range Rover HSE we tested, the LR4 feels relaxed and comfortable in the way it hits the road, isolating you from the environment by keeping things whisper quiet and very smooth. However, the Range Rovers now use electric steering, which contributes to improved fuel economy and reduced CO2 emissions by reducing the load on the engine. The current LR4 is still based on an older design, so we probably won't see the addition of EPS till the next generation. It takes 3.32 turns of the steering wheel to lock, accompanied by a relatively tight turning diameter of 37.6 feet. A 4-spoke leather-wrapped multifunction steering wheel comes standard, while a combination of wood and leather wheels are also available. The controls are pretty self-explanatory, and the wheel is exceptionally soft with a significant amount of padding. The horn is routed through the 2 vertical buttons on either side of the airbag cover. Delivering power to all 4 wheels through a permanent 4-wheel drive system is ZF's excellent 8HP70 8-speed automatic transmission. As we've discussed in previous videos, this ubiquitous gearbox is being widely used across a variety of makes and models, from Chrysler to Rolls-Royce and many others. Gears are selected through a knurled aluminum rotary dial in the center console, just like you would find in the Range Rover flagship. After depressing the brake, you twist the dial to make a selection. Once in drive, you can push down and right once more to activate a sport mode, which holds gears longer. If you want more control, gears can also be manually selected via the paddle shifters mounted to the back of the steering wheel. Out of all of the automatics I've driven, ZF's 8-speed is by far one of the most impressive that wasn't a dual clutch setup. Land Rover's applications are said to have their own unique tuning, but it generally behaves similar across the board. Shifts are so seamless thanks to the closely spaced ratios and take just 200 milliseconds. You'll hardly even notice them in normal driving. It also feels adaptive and more responsive when the situation demands, while maximizing efficiency, vehicle warm-up, and more. When downshifting, subtle throttle blips add to the excitement and keep the engine in its sweet spot for faster response. With its taller overdrive gears, it also helps boost fuel economy over previous 6 speeds. The LR4 is available with your choice of 2 4-wheel drive systems. The standard setup uses a single-speed transfer case weighing about 40 pounds less than the optional 2-speed unit and features a mechanical torsion center differential with a standard 42 to 58 front and rear torque split. Our tester, equipped with the optional heavy-duty package, features the 2-speed transfer case with high and low range, in addition to electronically controlled active locking center and rear differentials with a full-size spare tire. By having the active differentials, torque is split 50-50 by default, with the center differential being able to disperse as much as 100% of available torque to the front or rear as needed. The high range features a direct drive ratio of 1:1, while the low range is 2.93:1 for low-speed off-roading or when towing heavy trailers. The terrain response off-road settings come standard with 4 modes including general, grass, gravel, snow, sand, as well as mud and ruts. The 5th setting, rock crawl, is added only with the heavy-duty package. Terrain response modulates the engine, transmission, traction control, anti-lock brakes, stability control, and the optional active differentials based on traction and performance needs relative to the mode you have the LR4 set to. All of this works very similar to the Range Rovers we've tested, so if you'd like to learn a little bit more technical information, feel free to check out the link in the top right hand corner of this video. The LR4's cross-linked 4-corner air suspension offers 10 inches of vertical travel to the front wheels and 13 inches at the rear, leading to approach, breakover, and departure angles of up to 36.2, 27.3, and 29.6 degrees respectively, with between 7.3 and 9.5 inches of ground clearance depending on which height setting you're in. Maximum wading depth is 27.7 inches. The air suspension's 3 modes consist of access, normal, and off-road. This allows the LR4 to have a lot of flexibility and added capability for a variety of purposes. The access height lowers the SUV a couple of inches or so versus standard to make ingress and egress a cinch. It can even be locked in that position if you're driving at low speeds, otherwise the LR4 will default back to its normal height when you start driving down the road if you forgot to raise it back. Ride height even adjusts automatically when crossing bodies of water to prevent the possibility of grounding. In addition to the wide variety of suspension adjustments, there's also a host of other electronic assist features that include hill descent control, gradient release control, as well as hill start assist. So let's go ahead and flip on the automatic LED accent, bifunction HID headlamps, front and rear fog lamps, and the hazards. All 4 windows are fully automatic. And we'll go ahead and check out the exterior. The Land Rover LR4 was originally introduced back in 2010 to replace the aging LR3, also known as the Discovery in international markets. While it draws much of its general styling and proportions from its predecessors, the LR4 was and continues to be a much nicer offering when it comes to overall road manners, performance, and quality. It's not positioned at the same level as a Range Rover, but it blends a rugged demeanor and excellent off-road capability with a luxurious and well-appointed interior that can seat up to 7 adults. There's been a number of updates in the last 6 years, some major and some more subtle. The most significant changes came in 2014 with the introduction of the new 8-speed automatic transmission and supercharged V6, boosting fuel economy without sacrificing much in terms of performance. Styling also received a refresh in 2014 with an updated front fascia, new LED accented headlamps, and revised fog lamps. The new side view mirrors gained LED turn signals and available blind spot monitoring, along with a variety of other electronic safety features like rear cross traffic alert and adaptive cruise control with forward collision warning. The interior was subtly updated as well, but we'll cover that later in the video. Standard running boards were added in 2015. Aside from color changes and updates to the infotainment system, the LR4 continues unchanged for 2016. It's built using body-on-frame construction with hydroformed members and high-strength steels. The body panels are a combination of double-sided zinc-coated steel and aluminum alloy. I imagine the LR4's replacement will receive the new aluminum body construction techniques used in the new generation Range Rovers, which should drop vehicle weight significantly. The styling traces its roots back to the original Discoveries, tall, wide, but not necessarily long. In fact, it's 2.7 inches shorter than the 2016 Maxima SR I recently uploaded, making it much more easier to navigate than your typical full-size SUV. Combined with short front and rear overhangs, the LR4 is able to navigate rougher terrain effortlessly without worrying about damaging the lower fascias. Even though the LR4 is 6 years old now, the styling still looks awesome. It's classic Land Rover. It may not be for everyone, as the more powerful creases, fender flares, and slab sides hint at more of a utilitarian purpose than the more premium Range Rover, but much of what you see serves a functional purpose that makes it quite cool. My favorite feature is the standard Alpine roof, which combines a power glass sunroof for the driver and passenger with fixed glass panels over the second and third row seats, making the cabin feel very open. This is especially true over the rear, where the roofline kicks up to allow for more interior headroom. High-mounted fender vents keep things dry when wading through streams. Our tester features the optional black design package, which adds gloss black treatments to the grille, fender vents, door handles, mirror caps, wheels, and badging, while the roof rails gain a satin black finish. In general, the LR4 is available in 3 trim levels, including the entry model, the HSE, and our HSE Lux tester. While the black package hides a lot of the unique exterior upgrades you get with the luxury package, the interior receives significant upgrades when it comes to premium materials and amenities. Our tester, equipped with the black design package, comes with gloss black painted 20 by 8 inch 5 twin-spoke alloy wheels. They look fantastic with all the unique exterior trim, wrapped in 255/50 Pirelli Scorpion Zero all-season tires that can hold upward of 0.75 G of lateral acceleration. The LR4 features 4-wheel internally ventilated disc brakes measuring 14.2 inches up front and 13.8 inches in the rear, with 4-piston and twin-piston calipers respectively. Originally borrowed from the first-generation Range Rover Sport, the brakes have great feel and halt the nearly 3-ton LR4 to a stop from 60 miles an hour in a little over 120 feet with an expected level of nosedive. Our tester is equipped with the optional tow package with hitch receiver and electrical controller. It can tow upwards of 7,700 pounds. Underneath, you'll find independent double wishbones at each corner coupled to the adaptive air ride suspension. When the current generation LR4 debuted back in 2010, Land Rover revised the anti-roll bars, suspension knuckles, and bushings while adding variable ratio steering for greater high-speed stability, reduced understeer, and more precise steering than its predecessor. Despite being tall and wide, the LR4 is surprisingly easy to drive as it's not that much longer than a family sedan. Ride quality is very smooth as you might expect with the air suspension, and it exhibits refined and quiet road manners. Handling is what you'd expect for something of this heft and height with pretty controlled body roll through the corners. Overall length is 190.1 inches with a width excluding the mirrors of 75.4 inches and a height standard setting of 74.3 inches. Wheelbase is 113.6 inches while curb weight starts around 5,655 pounds. The LR4's supercharged 3-liter V6 has been around since 2014, replacing its predecessor's naturally aspirated 5-liter V8. Despite being down by 35 horsepower and 43 pound-feet of torque compared to the outgoing engine, it's a more fuel-efficient offering. The V6 continues unchanged for 2016, making it the standard power plant for all LR4s. Unlike the current entry-level Range Rovers, the LR4 is not available with a diesel option in North America. I've driven a lot of Land Rover and Jaguar products in the last year, both with supercharged V8s and V6s. I've always had a soft spot for the V8s when it comes to their raw sounds and almost endless power, but even so, the V6 is still highly responsive with plenty of power and refined road manners for the class. In these applications, the engine is quiet and well insulated from the passenger compartment. You barely even hear it outside of hard acceleration, which keeps the interior serene. The engine develops 340 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 332 pound-feet of torque between 3,500 and 5,000 RPM. It features dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, direct fuel injection, dual independent variable valve timing, and a compression ratio of 10.5 to 1. The block is reinforced with cross-bolted main bearing caps for greater rigidity, while counter-rotating front and rear balancer weights enhance smoothness. To enhance off-road performance, the oil sump accommodates tilting angles of up to 45 degrees, and many components are waterproofed, including the belts, alternator, air conditioning compressor, power steering pump, and starter motor. The Roots-type twin-vortex supercharger is nestled between the cylinder banks and delivers up to 25.4 psi of boost in the 340 horsepower variant. An air-to-water intercooler keeps the air charge temperatures low. Our tester can hit 60 miles an hour in about 7.7 seconds, while top speed is claimed to be 121 miles an hour. As far as fuel economy, the LR4 is fitted with a 22.8-gallon tank and requires premium fuel. A standard auto start-stop feature is said to increase economy by around 5%. With this in mind, EPA estimates range between 15 miles to a gallon in the city and 19 on the highway, averaging around 16 miles to a gallon. While not necessarily fantastic numbers, it's a decent bump over its V8 predecessor, which returned 12 miles to a gallon in the city and 17 on the highway. When the LR4 was introduced back in 2010, it was a welcomed improvement over the LR3, especially when it came to build quality and ergonomics. As I mentioned, not much has changed with interior styling since, aside from the center stack and gearbox surround when the electronically controlled 8-speed automatic was added in 2014. Therefore, compared to the rest of Land Rover's redesigned lineup and other new SUV offerings out there, the LR4 has become a bit long in the tooth. Still, it offers a wealth of technology and premium features and a lot of flexibility and practicality for both passengers and cargo. The LR4 is a highly functional vehicle. This HSE Lux comes pretty much with every option available, including higher grade Windsor leather upholstery, which can also be found across the upper doors and dash. Genuine wood trim and plenty of satin chrome brightwork decorate the interior, while glossy piano black veneer is also available. The doors house all of your power accessories, including power folding mirrors and available memory settings for the driver's side. The lower panels have large storage pockets. The front seats are fully powered, while the driver's side features two-way power lumbar. The armrests, seatbelts, and headrests are also adjustable. My favorite thing about these larger Land Rovers, including the Range Rover, is the command driving position. The seating is so high that it gives you a fantastic view all around the vehicle. I thought the overall visibility was excellent. The tidy exterior dimensions also help with that. The Windsor leather looks and feels high quality, the seats are very comfortable, and there's a lot of padding in all the right places. Like the Range Rover, they're very supportive. On the passenger side, you have a two-tier glove box for additional storage. The upper portion is lined in soft-touch material and basically will close itself once you let go. Like we talked about earlier, the LR4 is already built on top of a sturdy structure, but there's a host of electronic safety features also available. As far as airbags, there's one for the driver and passenger, as well as second-row head curtain airbags. Knee airbags are not available. On the HSE Lux, there's also a power tilt telescoping steering wheel with auto tilt feature, and the entire dash for the most part is wrapped in soft touch material. Of course, there's a number of interior colors, two-tone options, and finishers available for added personalization.
So let's go ahead and see how she sounds, both sitting still and on the road. Now let's go ahead and shut it up and check out some of the interior features.
The LR4 and LR4 HSE comes standard with a 380-watt 11-speaker Meridian audio system, while this HSE Lux has the high-end Meridian surround sound system with 17 speakers and 825 watts. Fantastic quality and quite powerful. It's all routed through a hard drive-based navigation touchscreen infotainment system mounted in the center of the dash. In addition to satellite radio, you of course have hands-free Bluetooth technology and much more, including 4x4 information. We've covered this system more in depth in recent Jaguar Land Rover reviews, so if you'd like to see a more closer look, check out one of the links in the top right hand corner of the video. All of the pillars are padded, side curtain airbags, grip handles up top, and padded visors with illuminated vanity mirrors. The rear view mirror is auto dimming with 3-position garage home link located beneath, and there's no sunglass container in the top stack, but you have the controls for the fully automatic sunroof, Bluetooth microphones, and interior illumination with reading lamps. Continuing down the center stack, right beneath the infotainment system and amongst the various controls, you have an analog clock. There's an in-dash CD player, as well as a standard tri-zone climate control system, so you have independent temperature adjustment for each of the front occupants as well as the rear seats. Fan speed in the middle, different zones, front and rear defrost, recycling, and 3-stage heated seats for both sides. Towards the bottom there's also a small storage tray. So compared to the Range Rovers we've taken a look at recently, the Land Rover LR4 definitely feels like a different vehicle because it is taller, it feels bigger, a lot more spacious and airy feeling on the interior, but it also has a lot of similar styling cues, like with the shelf portion on the dash here and how it comes around. But one of the biggest differences between the Land Rover versus the Range Rovers is the fact that this center console sits so much lower than the other products. It's less sporty, obviously. It makes the interior, again, feel more open and spacious. The ergonomics aren't quite as good, in being that the LR4 is an older design compared to the Range Rover products that were introduced recently. You do have to reach down, there's a little bit more buttons and stuff, but you get used to it after a while. Small storage tray in the center console, 2 cup holders, and a leather padded armrest. This particular one features a cool box with a small storage tray on top. You activate it by that switch there. It locks in place typically, but you can also fold the top back if you needed some extra tray storage in the rear. As far as the steering wheel, right behind it you have your rain-sensing windshield wipers and controls to the rear wiper, your trip computer, by that button right there, of course, your turn signals and high beams, radio controls, cruise control, the right-hand side, heated steering wheel, hands-free telephone, voice commands, as well as the controls for the driver information system that shows up in the middle of the instrument cluster. Alrighty. So we'll go ahead and shut her down, and we'll check out the back seat. One thing I've really come to appreciate about the LR4 is how much interior space there is. Not too long ago we took an in-depth look into the full-size Range Rover HSE, which obviously is a pretty big vehicle in its own right, but compared to that, this thing feels absolutely cavernous. I mean, the interior space is just, it's so open and airy. The pillars aren't too thick and bulky. There's a lot of glass. It's really nice and something that is only truly appreciated in person, but because you have, like you saw in the exterior walk-around, this kicked-up roofline right here, right behind these seats, it goes up a few inches or so and pretty much goes straight back all the way to the tailgate. No curvature or anything like that. Because of that, you not only have extra interior space, headroom and stuff back here, but it's pretty much preserved all the way through the third row. So you can sit 7 people in here, but you can actually sit full-size adults back here, or people my height. I'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second, but it's actually one of the most comfortable third row seats I've sat in this particular class, and it actually has decent leg room, so that's very cool. As with any other Land Rover product, the interior quality is just beautiful. Soft, supple leather across the seats, across the upper door panels. It's just a really nice package overall. So let's go and hop on in, talk about comfort and interior space. Obviously, like I said, there's a ton of space back here, but to give it a little bit more of a real-world perspective, I'm 5'10" with a comfortable seating position for myself in front. I easily have 4.5 inches of leg space and maybe, gosh, 6 inches or more of head space depending on where you put it. A little bit more when you have this cover open on the glass roof. Like the front seats, back seat comfort is also really good. There's a tremendous amount of padding. Not a lot of lateral support, but you don't really need it in this vehicle. And you actually have a decent amount of lower back support. So this is very comfortable on longer trips. One thing I'm surprised that they didn't include was a fold-down armrest in the middle here. Instead, the middle row seat is actually broken up into 3 sections. You can fold them all down, or 1 down, or 2 down, completely independent, depending on if you need to get into the back seat or if you need to fold it all down for extra cargo space. Or, one thing I think is pretty cool, being that you don't have an armrest right here, you can fold down the middle portion here and basically have a tray. So if you had kids back here or anybody back here who wanted to eat on top of here or anything like that on a road trip, it's definitely doable. The middle row seat is also quite good. I mean, you don't have a big drivetrain hump right here. Obviously, the headroom is preserved. There's still good back support. I mean, you're not really compromising on comfort right here. And you have 3 adjustable headrests, so you could still kind of kick back and relax a little bit. You can fit 3 people my size back here just fine, I would imagine, without having to fight for shoulder space or anything like that, which is definitely a plus if you're hauling around a big family or something like that. In the bottom here, you have 2 fully adjustable air vents. There's heated seats for both of the outer portions and a small storage tray. And you have independent climate adjustments up top here, temperature, different zones, fan speed, illumination, and reading lamps. So now we're going to hop in the back seat. I'm going to show you how to fold all the seat contraptions and stuff. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but you kind of get the hang of it after you do it a few times. Basically, there's a grab handle on either side of the headrest across each 3 sections. You grab that and pull it down. At this stage, you can do one of 2 things. You can grab the leather strap at the bottom of the seat right here, give it a tight yank, and then you can push the seat down and lock it. This is so you can, when you fold the back seat down, you have flat loading space all the way to the front. And to pull it back up, you just push down on that upper handle and flip it back, it locks in place. Otherwise, when you pull this down, there's a handle underneath the middle portion of the seat right here. It's actually logoed so you can see it. You can pull that up and raise it up so you can easily hop in the back. So typically for better visibility, you would leave these headrests down, but once you're sitting back here to give you some extra back space and head support, flip them up, they lock in place. There's a little button on the side to release it and put it back down when you're done. The first thing you'll notice back here, I mean, especially for my height, is that it's rather impressive. I mean, wow. I have still 5 inches, 5.5 inches. I mean, it's huge back here. And this middle row seat can't adjust back and forth like some of the other SUVs and stuff we've tested out. But even so, I have a couple inches or 1.5 inches of leg space all the way around. So this is totally doable, especially if you're hauling around adult-sized friends all the time. There's cup holders back here, nice easy placement up top. There's some storage trays, extra pockets to either side, air vents in the pillars, grip handles up top. I mean, it's fantastic. These seats back here are more or less jump seat style seats, I guess. They're not like the front. They don't have as much padding. They're still wrapped in high quality leather, but there's not much cushion right here. So if you're a larger individual, you're definitely going to be more comfortable up front. I can sit back here just fine. There's no extra support and stuff. Still some decent lower back support, which is nice. So definitely more comfortable for shorter term trips, but it's totally doable for long term. Of course, getting out is just as easy. There's an additional strap back here, so if someone forgets and locks you back here, you can pull it and raise the seat back up. So let's go ahead and check out cargo space out back. Out back, the LR4 is a convenient split tailgate. It's not powered, but it feels very lightweight thanks to its aluminum construction. Behind the 3rd row seat, you have 9.9 cubic feet of cargo space, which isn't a ton, but if you fold it down, you have 42.1 cubic feet behind the 2nd row seat. Fold everything down, you have a tremendous 90.3 cubic feet in total. The entire floorboard, including the back of the seats, are wrapped in plush carpeting. There's 4 cargo tie-downs, and on the left-hand side, you have a 12-volt power outlet. Folding down that 3rd row seat is a 2-step process. You climb in and pull the little pull strap that you see there, the bottom cushion flips out and locks in place. Then you pull a little lever and you bring the backrest down and it also locks in place. To put the seat back up, it's a reverse process. To release the locks, there's 2 different levers. The forward one releases the bottom cushion, the rear one releases the backrest. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the 2016 Land Rover LR4. Be sure to stay tuned next time, there's a lot more where that came from. Take care guys.